bachelorette off.
Is this gonna be are you guys gonna tell me you're pregnant again?
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Bro, that's not even funny. Is this good? Is this good?
Whatever.
Yeah, this is great. As long as Elise is not with that face of
I know, right?
Seriously. And this computer is on top of a Wendy's cup.
we're on top of a cooler.
Let's talk about this adventure that you guys are in the middle of. Shall we?
Do it.
All right, Elise, Austin. How's it going? Dude, it's so good to see you. It feels like I haven't seen you forever.
It feels like it has been a long time. It's only been a month. It's been literally, we crossed the border a month ago on Friday.
Oh, wow.
We didn't get actually to our Airbnb till Monday, right? Or was it Sunday? Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, Sunday was the first night we actually slept in the area we're in.
Wow. 1 month.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we've been talking about like creating content for a little while. So this is probably going to be online at some place. So for those who don't know you and don't know what crazy things you are doing right now, because it's just amazing and crazy. You moved from Minnesota, where I am, to Mexico with Elise, who is here too. And they're 3 beautiful kids. How old are they?
Day is 4. Hayek will be 3 in November, and Spooner will be 1 in October.
1. Wow. Is he walking yet?
No, but he's talking a lot. He's crawling all over the place for the most part. It's all tile here in Mexico. There's not a lot of carpet.
Yeah.
So
no carpet.
He kind of crawls like
He just kind of like slides on the floor.
like a squirrel with disabled back legs. He kind of pulls himself.
It's like an army crawl.
It's like an army crawl, but I wouldn't want to use my knees either on this tile, man. It's hard. He's fast. He's getting there.
And then do you think he's liking it?
He likes eating sand.
He eats sand all the time. Like he likes it. It's so funny.
So tell me, like, when you left, I saw you probably 2 or 3 days before you guys left. We were in a pool somewhere in Minnesota. And at that time, I was like, oh, I wonder how things are going to be and what would be their first thoughts a month in. And here we are a month in. Just tell me how it was like, how was crossing the border, first of all? I saw a video that you put it out where they stopped you, they searched your car. What was going through your head?
She's grabbing Spooner real quick. She'll be right back. But border crossing, I personally wasn't really worried or scared at all, to be honest. We had nothing to hide. I knew that they couldn't bust us for anything. My biggest concern was, did we have all of our paperwork? Did we have all of our I's dotted and all of our T's crossed? Like, you miss one thing and it's like, oh, you got to go back to Minnesota and get it taken care of. That would be a pain in the butt. So
and you drove down there.
And we drove down. Yeah, we drove down there. Kansas to Minneapolis to Kansas, Kansas to Austin, Austin to the border. So yeah, we didn't want to have to turn around anywhere. So besides having paperwork in order, I would say getting lost. There was lots of weird turns. And then once you get into Mexico, we actually missed our first turn when we got into Mexico. So we're going down this path or this road, and like 2 miles down, you're supposed to take a right. And Elise was on her phone, and that was the one we were using GPS for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap, I think I have a turn coming up. Quick, let me see your phone. And literally it was like 500 feet, 200 feet, boom. And I look over and I see this big road go to the right with a bunch of traffic. I'm like, son of a gun, I think we were supposed to turn there. But then it readjusted and updated or whatever right off the bat as soon as we passed it. So I was like, okay, just keep going. Well, it was probably like, dude, we just made a huge horseshoe and met up with that same highway way down here to go back that way.
Was that the same day that you guys went up? I think you're traveling for like 5 days, right?
Yeah, 5 days. That was the first day. That was from Austin to Saltillo. I think you're probably referencing the really tall road.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Yeah.
That was Saltillo to Zacatecas, and that was crazy. That was one of the scariest roads I've ever been on in my life. The video didn't do the fear justice,
It doesn't
because you
look
couldn't
that
see
bad.
over the edge like we could. It was literally just straight down drop off. Very white knuckle the whole time. I was like, why did I listen to Elise?
But let's go back to the border, because I'm so intrigued by it. I had to cross a lot of borders, and it's always a little intense. We never know what to expect. And driving with 3 kids and your wife through the Mexican border, U.S. Mexican border, that for me it already feels kind of like something can happen there, right? There's so much going on the U.S. Mexican border. You had to go inside to get some paperwork.
Yeah.
It took you like an hour
Yeah.
to get out of there. What were they saying? What was the protocol? Can you even say it?
Yeah, for sure. So if I had to do it all over again, I knew, and I'd done this before, I probably would have saved myself a lot of time. I could have done a lot of stuff beforehand that I didn't know that I could do.
Yeah.
So they have, like I said in the video, we got to a toll, and I was like, you want like American money? Like, I thought it was at the border. Like I was like, what is, like, it was so weird that there was a toll literally a quarter mile before the actual border. That was just super weird. And then you go
$5 to
through all,
get in.
and then you go through all these like video camera, like tons of video cameras, and they're taking pictures and everything. And then there's like another just road, and then another like border kind of thing, and a building and a couple buildings. See, like, you don't, it's so confusing. I don't know. I'm just like, keep going until they tell me to stop and give me paperwork. Okay, I can do that. So I just kept going until the guy was eventually like, hey, what's up? And I was like, cool, finally somebody to talk to. So what I should have done before I saw that guy was, there was a building I could have parked in their parking lot or whatever. And then I would have gone inside, done all my paperwork, and then got back in my car, pulled out of the little parking lot, got back into the road onto the toll, or the security thing, and then the guy. And then I would have got all my paperwork ready to rock. He would have been like, okay, go ahead. Or
you didn't do that. You didn't do none of that.
No, I didn't do any of the paperwork. So I got to the guy, and I was like, yeah, I need to do that, because I thought he was asking me for my like insurance and stuff. And I'm like, no, I knew I had to go into the building, but I was just like, I figured he would have been like, oh, you have to go in the building, you passed it, sorry. And then I would have done it, but whatever, lost in translation. Speaking Spanish would have helped so much. Understanding Spanish would have helped so much.
What do you think, now that you're there for a month? Let's just open a gap here. Do you think, what would you classify your English in percentage? Do you think you're like 30, 40, 50% fluent?
Oh my
or
gosh,
it's
dude.
like
No, like,
5?
it depends what I'm doing.
Right.
If I want to go order food, no problem. I can order almost anything I want the way I want it. No problem.
Do you wanna give us a little bit of how you order some
It's not
tacos?
good Spanish, but they know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want a hamburger, medium rare. Yo quiero una hamburguesa medio rojo. All right. Not bad. I don't know if that's exactly how they would say it. They might have some better conjugations of verbs and stuff, but they go, oh, okay. Oh, I want it to go para llevar, por favor. Sweet. I get it to go. Awesome. Con papas fritas. Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's easy. I can do that all day long. I can do that all day long. But I got pulled over the other day.
For doing what? You
So,
don't even know, probably.
well, I think I do. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do a video on driving here, because there's lots of weird rules and stuff that they have. But so they have these roads, we call them side streets, or frontage roads, right? In the States. Here they call them laterals. So let's say you have like a 2-lane highway going this way and a 2-lane highway going this way. Over here and over here are what we'd call side streets, but there they call them laterals. And from those laterals, you can kind of hop over or turn depending on the lights.
Yeah.
Well, I was in a lateral and had a green arrow to go left, and I thought I could go from the lateral to the main street, right? The main highway, because the laterals are side streets. They're slower to go on to city streets. Well, apparently can't do that on an arrow. You have to have a green light. And I'm like,
Oh, yes. It's just like in Brazil. You got to have a green line.
Is it? Okay.
A green
So
light. Yeah, you
the
can
guy,
just.
the guy in front of me
Uh,
did the same thing.
He
Okay.
did.
So, and I've seen people do it. So I just assumed, okay, this is normal, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like half a mile up and I look back in my rear or my side mirror and there's a motorcycle kind of flying up in the middle here. And I'm like,
Oh,
wow, man, that guy's risking it. Look at him go. And then boom, he hits his lights and he's right in my he's right in my window
my
going.
gosh.
I'm like, come on, man. Again.
Again.
Second time. Second time I've been pulled over in the last 4 months here. But he pulls me over and he's like, he speaks Spanish. And I was like, no, I didn't even want to try.
Minnesotan license plates,
Minnesota
right?
license plate. Yeah, that doesn't help. Because the guy in front of me, I said, and I also have a dash cam. So I was like, hey, buddy, I have a dash cam. Like the guy in front of me did the same thing. And he's like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. And I was like, yes, he did. Because I tried a little bit. I was like, carro enfrente, like the car in front, igual, same thing. What's the problem?
Yeah.
And he was like, no. And I was like, yes, I have it on camera, buddy. And he's like, hold on. So he pulls out his phone from his helmet and he calls his buddy and he puts his buddy on the phone. And he's like, I'm like, hello. And he's like, hey, buddy, what's up, buddy? Do you know why you got pulled over? And I was like, I think so. I think he said I can't turn from where I turned from, but I took a left turn. I technically went from the right lane to the left lane. That's a left turn, you know. I go in the car in front of me did the same exact thing, and I have it on camera. He's like, okay, all right, let me talk to my buddy. So I give the phone back, and the guy talks to him for a second, and hangs up. He goes, "This is an infraction. Infraction. I'm like, infraction. Okay, I get it." And he's like, "Umas tiempo, no more license." And I'm like, okay.
Can they suspend your American license?
Didn't even ask for my license. Didn't ask for any paperwork whatsoever. Went on his way.
So that is one, man, you've been there for a month. Like
I know, right? One time
I just saw the other video that you put up, I think just a few days ago, about you waiting for your car. Your car was being fixed.
Yeah.
And you were waiting for it. Was there any like language issues at that particular situation?
For sure, dude. For sure. He's kind of talking to me when I'm in the car because I'm like cranking the wheel over, and so it's like he had me crank the wheel all the way one way so he could put his head back behind the tire, right?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
I'm like, I would never do that, but he told me to do it, so I did it. But he started talking like, he goes, "Do you speak Spanish?" I said, "No." And he literally just went off on like a paragraph of Espanol. And I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're saying. So I called my buddy, Tom, who I literally had just left his place. And this Michelin spot was like a block away from his house, which is sweet. So I just said, hey, you got to talk to this guy. I have no idea what he's saying, but I got 3 kids. It's almost 7 o'clock at night. We got to either get this figured out now or leave it here and come get it tomorrow. So we talked to him and he said, yeah, you can keep it overnight. Tom gave us a ride back. I had a friend who speaks really good Spanish call the guy, and he told her that, hey, there's a rock in your brake, essentially. So we'll take that out, but the brakes are shot too. So you might as well just get them fixed. So 10:30, 11 o'clock the next day, I took the walk back there, and $77 some later, and everything was fixed and beautiful.
And tell me about the Mexican time. You mentioned like people might have heard of the Mexican time, and I heard the Brazilian time, which is pretty similar. But what is the Mexican time?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because somebody was saying something about Mexican time, American time, and Canadian time today.
Oh yeah, what is the difference?
What do they say?
Well, yeah, Mexican time. Well, obviously, 30 to 60 minutes is you come after so Mexican time is you come, like, let's say it's 4:30, come at 4:30, you come 30 to 60 minutes after that. And that's on time.
Yeah.
And then Canadian time, I don't remember what they said about Canadian time.
I think we were the most prompt though.
Yeah. Canadian time runs late. Oh, there it is.
So, we have a gecko living in our place, and it's climbing on the wall right now. But yeah, Mexican time, It's just a slower pace.
A lot
He said, I'll be there in 3 minutes. I knew it wasn't going to be 3 minutes. I figured 10, 15, which is about what it was. But it was so dang hot, dude. And they don't have AC. And I have AC. We have AC on right now. And everyone thinks we're freaking crazy. They're like, man, your electric bill's going to be so high. And I'm like, well, we like air conditioning. Okay. I don't know how you people sleep at night in 80-degree heat. Like, I don't get it.
That's crazy.
It's just a terrible. I'll pay it. Like,
That's why he sleeps right by the window.
yeah, probably. Our neighbor down below sleeps like
His bed is in his living room.
right there on the window.
Wow. And with the 3 kids, I think we were talking on the phone the other day, and you mentioned that his sleep schedule was something that you guys had, like, you were on top of when you lived in the US.
Yeah.
And that was kind of challenging. Elise, how are you holding up?
I think surprisingly, it's gone pretty well. Like,
It's gotten better.
well, yeah, better. I mean,
Our Airbnbs were tough.
well, yeah, because, well, I only say it's better not just because this is our new norm. We all sleep in the same room.
Yeah.
You know, like Daya's in bed with us. We put him on a mattress on the floor, and then Spooner's in the pack and play. But sometimes it's been all of us in the bed.
Wow.
You know, but
Sounds
I mean,
hard.
yeah, you know, because obviously the boys will wake each other up. You know, so that's hard, and so I mean, yeah, no one has their own space. We all share a space. But no, we've made it work. And on our road trip, it surprisingly went pretty well. Like, they still did their naps in the car, scheduled like morning nap, afternoon nap in the car,
Yeah.
even though we were in the car like all day and night, you know.
Yeah,
Sure. And then bedtime still was around the same time. I mean, not gonna lie, we gave them like melatonin gummies sometimes at night to help them to take the edge off, you know. But yeah, you know, you learn to adapt very quickly, and you just have to roll with it. You just have to roll with it and just deal with it, you know.
So yeah, I can only imagine how I have 2 little ones, as you guys know, and sometimes when the kids are tired, it's just difficult, right? They get crabby, and you gotta give them the attention and love that they need.
Definitely seeing the cues when Hayek and Dea start doing things around bedtime, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You can be like, all right, they're tired, they're ready to go down. Like, that's sign number 1.
That's it.
Hayek starts just screaming for whatever reason, and Dea
she's sensitive,
and she'll just get in the zone watching something on the iPad. Just Dea, and she just will not respond, just sucked in.
So a month ago, just in general, with the kids and with just everything else, a month ago, I'm sure you had some ideas of what it would be, right? And I know you guys are on the road, you were in Airbnbs, and now you're more in a permanent type of place. But a month ago, were you thinking, oh, yes, this is what I was thinking a month ago, or it's completely different? You're like, no, this is not really what I signed up for. That's not what I was expecting.
I think you're going to get 2 different answers here.
Yeah, let's do it. I want a book.
You can go.
Go ahead, Mocha.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's been really hard.
Yeah.
I guess there's really no way to really mentally prepare yourself, uprooting her into your family, uprooting her into her life, but then also like to a foreign country, you know, where you don't know the language as well, the customs, just the culture, everything. And obviously, like, I know Mexico. I mean, I visited Mexico and, you know, a lot, but but living is a whole different situation, you know. And it's like we're on vacation, like this is our life,
right?
And I knew it'd be different, but like, wow. I mean,
what are the main things, Elise, like the things that really shocked you?
Oh, just real quick, for example, back home, she would do Target pickup orders every day. I sometimes have to go twice. like crazy, or Amazon, whatever. So she tries to do a pickup order at this grocery store called La Comer that we really like to go to. I
Yeah,
did a
it's
video on
pretty
it.
comparable to Hy-Vee, actually.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
Nice.
she's like, I had my pickup order at La Comer
I was so proud of myself.
because like we went shopping there and it's difficult as hell. Well, now we know what we're doing, but at the beginning we're just like, it'd be nice to pick up because with the kids and stuff, whatever.
Well, yeah,
Long
you
story
know,
short.
because I mean, back home, I mean, how often do you go shopping with all the kids?
Yes.
You know, and like we just didn't do that, and so like, why are we doing this in Mexico? Like where we don't know we don't know where we're going, we don't know the language. I just don't know. Like, and with 3 kids, like this isn't fun.
Yeah.
So long story short.
Well, I spent a lot of time doing this pickup order.
Long time she spent on this pickup order. Tells me it's gonna be ready at like 12:30, 1 o'clock, whatever. I'm like, all right, perfect. I get there a little after 1 o'clock. So she had plenty of time to have it done. She sends me the little thing on her phone and I go up to them. I'm like, here, this is my number for this pickup. And these women are like freaking out. Like, oh no, we don't have this order for this guy. What's going on? There's tons of carts. They're checking out these carts. They're like radioing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're radioing people. They got like 2 or 3 more employees coming up. Like, hey, what is this one? What is this one? And another lady comes in and she's like, let me see it again. And she looks at it and she says like Cuyamongo or something like that. And I'm like, what is that? She goes, I don't know. It's like a city near Mexico City.
Oh my God.
She made the pickup order for a La Comer near Mexico City, which is like 14 hours away from where we are. So it's
Oh
like,
my
we're not
God.
gonna go get that order.
I was like so frustrated because I spent so much time. Like I had one of the families that we've become acquainted with, the daughter is 15. So I was like, can you come over and help me translate everything and just tell me? And that was challenging in itself because she's 15. She's never done that sort of thing. And so we spent quite a while doing it. And I was like, okay, sweet. And then I find out it didn't work.
Oh
Around
my
the picture.
God.
And then guess what I found out? I found out I can do it in English. If I just go to Google, not use the actual app.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh. And then obviously I was excited because I got a lot of stuff, you know? And then, so I did it again and I did it all right.
And now
it worked.
And now it works.
I've gotten quite a few.
Well, the only downside is it says drive up, but for whatever reason, there's no drive up. So I have to go in, but whatever. That's not that bad.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, I remember going through so many of those when I lived in Australia because I couldn't speak English and it was so challenging. One thing that it always got me when I lived there for the first good 6-7 months, I was just learning English. People would call me whenever somebody called me on my phone and I saw like was a number from Sydney. My heart would just go crazy fast because it was like, I'm not going to be able to talk to this person. And I was looking for jobs and stuff.
Oh, shit.
I would wait to see if they would leave a voice message. And if they did, I would text them like, hey, can you send me the address or whatever I needed? Because I would freak out. Like I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
they feel a little bit like that when you have to talk to people there.
Yeah. It's always,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, just going back to is I really didn't do any research. I was like, okay, we're moving to Mexico. Like, that's great. We're getting our kids out of the US, like this will be great for all of us. This is like a dream of ours, to live in a different country, have a recultured, whatever. But I never really, I should have done this, but like been more realistic, and researched more. And I mean, I let him handle a lot of the logistics. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like I'm not being negative. I told him this already. I go, this isn't me being negative. This is just me. And I'm not throwing in the towel by any means. I just know myself very well. And I know our kids. And let's be honest, like, that's my job. Like, that's like my life or my kids, and I just know, I just know that we are not going to live here forever.
You already feel that way?
I 100%. And, I don't, and I told him, I was like, don't be disappointed in me. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being honest. Like, this isn't going to be a forever thing. I'm already talking about where I want to move next. already. And
Um,
he just wants me to keep giving it a chance. And I am.
yeah.
I just,
You got to give it 6 months.
for me, it's hard to know. It's like for you, like, how did you know how much longer just to stick it out in Australia? You know what I mean?
Yes, and I didn't have a specific goal because my whole plan on going to Australia was I need to learn English.
Okay.
This is my goal. That's why I came. That's why I invested all this money. That's why I left my job back home. And going back to Brazil without knowing English, at least on a level where I could use professionally, wasn't an option.
Okay.
Um, so 6 months had gone by
Yeah.
and I wasn't ready.
Mm.
But the things between month 1 and month 6 were much different because now I understood the systems. I understood things like how to do a order at the grocery store. So there's just so many challenges that you can face in a given day. And at some point, you're just going to understand all of them and you're going to know exactly how to act. So when get to that point, I think things got much easier where it was all about focusing on the language and not more on the issues.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think you guys gonna be okay.
How soon, to ease her mind, how soon did you have doubts? How soon were you like, I don't know, man, if I can do this?
Dude, no,
I'll go
first
back
week.
now.
First week. Oh,
100%.
the thing is, I had been to Australia, and my sister she's in Australia. I had been in Australia for a month. So I kind of knew, I definitely knew better than what Elise knew about Mexico because my sister lived there. So I had somebody to bounce ideas off. But like, first week I got so homesick. I was like, I wanted my family. I wanted my friends. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Is that gecko gonna jump
The
in your
gecko,
face?
man, he's on the wall right now. He's like going towards our TV right
I'm
now.
not scared of it. It's just entertaining. What the? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, but you gotta
You
give
got
it
to
a
get
chance.
acclimated and you got to give it a chance.
And it's
There is
not
the
even necessarily that. I mean, yes, I miss my family and friends, but I'm not homesick per se.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, obviously I know this, everything's out of my comfort zone, but
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't want to move back to Minnesota by any means. And I don't know. It's just, yeah.
I just feel like I kind of can tell what emotion you are having because I feel like I was in the same spot.
Yeah.
And one day I was talking to a friend and she said, and she was living in Australia for I think 2 or 3 years. And she's like, you just gotta wait. One day this country will open its arms for you. And like a month later, I was getting jobs. My English was getting better. So
Yeah.
you just gotta be patient. It's gonna happen.
Well, yeah. And I'm not saying that. It's just, you know, I think for him, he's kind of looking at like how he's going to be more comfortable for himself and like what he can do and, you know, his goals for himself. But I'm
Yeah.
looking more at the kids' point of view too. You know, like I have to think of
Sure.
the kids, you know, and
Where
yeah.
or what is the other destination that you're considering?
I mean, it would be back in the US, not to lie. Because I mean, it's like, I'm not saying I wouldn't try another country. I just don't know. I don't know. So
how long do you think you can give Elise before you guys are back?
I mean, if he said, let's go tomorrow, I'd say, okay.
You were there ready?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but because I'd support him. If he wanted, I'd be like, okay, that's how you feel. That's great. I mean, I only told my mom this and like, I guess I'll share it, you know, but like, I haven't for a few days or so, but I literally for almost a month cried every single day.
Oh, Elise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you think is the main reason that you're feeling that way? Are you feeling lonely or afraid? Why do you think it's not gonna work out?
I mean, yeah, it's lonely, you know, because like, but I mean, it's not even like, I mean, I have, you know, my husband and my kids, but yeah, it's still kind of lonely per se, like not necessarily family, but it's just, you know, I was used to having play dates, you know, or even just, it's not even like having like someone I connect with. It's even just like going out and seeing other moms and their kids, even if they're strangers, was nice. I don't even see that here yet. Granted, I know we haven't ventured out in that way, you know, and like where we live is a lot of retired people. So that doesn't help. Or like when we do see people, families, the kids are older, you know, and then when we do see little kids, it's on the beach, but they're really little and they're just doing their own thing. And then there's a language barrier, you know, which we kind of, sometimes it's worked out with the kids where they'll just still play with each other. But like today, the language barrier was pretty hard. And so they just kind of would just stare at each other, you know? But yeah, I don't, it's just a lot, you know? I mean,
I know.
it's from like, it's a little things where like, we came down here and the kids literally had like 3 toys, you know, and I'm like, yes, they can play outside, but kids do need toys. They do need things, you know, whether it's crayons or, you know, all these things. And that's been hard for Daya. She's like, oh, well, I want this toy. And where's this? And then and she's gotten emotional about it, you know, and she's like, well, where's Luca? I can't wait. You know, let's go see Luca. Let's go see, you know, my cousin Vanessa. And I'm like, well, they're not here. They're really far away. And then she gets sad and she gets confused, you know? And so I guess I just have been feeling so guilty as a mom because I see how the kids are struggling and they can't fully vocalize it. You know, like Hike's had a really, really hard time here. Like he's been very difficult, but he's so confused. He can't really verbally tell us. So he just screams and gets angry, you know, and doesn't listen. And
I think that could just be the terrible twos as well.
Well,
He might have been doing that anyway, but
that's his age for sure. But then on top of everything else,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
No one said it was going to be easy.
I totally see what you're saying, because if it's hard for you who's an adult and is able to process all those emotions and those thoughts,
right,
a child is experiencing just on their own way, experiencing those changes too. It's tough. You guys are very inspirational. I'm sure like people will be very impressed by your courage and your story. Just having beliefs and having aspirations and just moving with the whole family, looking for something better is just incredible. I'm in the middle of that myself.
Hopefully it pans out for you, bud.
We'll see.
I think she wants to be at a spot. I think it'd be totally different if we could fast forward 3-4 months from now and we're in our house, whatever that is, an apartment or a 3-bed, 4-bed, or a bungalow or whatever it is. And we're there and it's ours. And she knows that the kids can go in there and play. And they can go in the backyard and play, or they can go down the street and hang with Miguel and Jose, or they can walk down to the store and buy a Coke, or she can call this friend and they can do a play date, or she can go here because she knows about this. She doesn't have any of that, the creature comforts of home, right?
Well, and it's just like, I'm very independent with the kids.
Right.
I'm very, very independent with the kids. Like I'm just used to the kids and I, we just go, you know, because like, you know, he'll be at work, or even if he's not at work, he's got something to do. So I'm like, okay, we're going to go, you know, and I could handle it just fine. Like no problem. You know, I had no problem taking the kids anywhere with 3 kids. That was no problem for me. You know, we loved it. We did great at it. And now here I solely rely on him for literally everything. You know, like I don't drive here. He speaks, you know, he knows more Spanish than I do. And, I mean, I think he's left us, like the kids and I alone, like for a while, like maybe twice. And that was like once was like during nap time and night and bedtime, you know? But even when he did that, it felt good because I was like, okay, I'm kind of doing my thing. You know what I mean? Like just being the kids, I'm like, okay, I can do this. But yeah, so that's been challenging because I have no independence, you know, and obviously, as I'm sure you know, like you need a good routine schedule with the kids, and we have none of that. And I don't like knowing the unknown, which I knew that was going to happen when we moved here. But yeah, like we've moved so many times already since we've been here. You know, we've been here for a month. This is our third place. Yeah. On top of our road trip down.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Well, you know, it's every, like I could go on for hours and hours, but it's every little thing, and it's very overwhelming. And I think too, I get so emotional as I was, you know, I've told him, and it's not only that we just upwarded our whole life to a different country, but like in the past 2 years, we've had a lot of change, and that takes a lot of time to process. You know, I mean, we didn't even live in our house for a year. You know?
Yeah, I know.
No. And so it's like within 2 years, we, you know, sold 2 homes, you know, we had a baby, and it's just a lot of stuff. So I think, and that just kind of all caught up to me here.
Do you think, I know, Austin, you have some business ideas down there. Do you think once you have, or Austin has like a plan, you know, for his career, do you think you're going to feel a little bit better, maybe safer, or it's just like, oh, it's not about the future, it's about the culture right now, it's about, what are your thoughts there?
Well, I told him with one of his ideas, I asked him, I was like, so if this bed and breakfast works out, I was like, can we run the bed and breakfast from a different country?
Can we run it from Texas? No, you can't run a business, a person to person business from a different country. Hello.
I mean, I obviously like knew the question, but that's where I felt. But I'm like, okay, well, okay, you know, like he has his dreams and aspirations, and if it works out, like I have been thinking to myself, like, can I be okay with that? Because we would have to stay.
Exactly.
And
exactly where I was going with my question. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it would still be hard, don't get me wrong, but I support him and I love him, and you know, like it's his dream, and I would be involved too. But yeah, it would still be hard, you know.
Yeah. When I moved to the US, which is now what, almost 7 years, was hard because I moved to Minnesota, and Minnesotans, they grow up together, they stay together, and it's hard, you know, push people to the sides and say, hey, let me be part of this group too. But you two were with me from the beginning. We met in Brazil, in the World Cup. You guys were dating. I was dating my wife. So when I came to the US, you both were like, come on up, Peter, you're one of us. And that helped me through these years so much. It was just, this is not necessarily my people, like Americans are not Brazilians, but I kind of have some Brazilians in my Americans, you know?
Right.
It's just like, you guys were so close to home. Have you guys been able to find a group to lift you up there, or you
I mean, my
guys?
best friend is a 15-year-old, so which, I mean, age doesn't matter. She's mature for her age and
She
stuff.
speaks perfect English and Spanish, so that it.
Is she Mexican or she's American?
She's half Canadian, half Mexican.
Oh, okay.
It's my buddy's daughter.
Yeah.
They live in the same neighborhood that we live in, which is super nice.
Yep.
It works because she comes in and hangs out with us with her dad, and they can chat about, hey, where's the best place to go buy shoes? Where's the best place to buy this purse? Where's a good deal here? What are there any good theaters around, or whatever? She knows everything. She's only 15, but at the same time, she's lived here her whole life, so she knows everything and speaks perfect Spanish. So, and she's close to home.
So that's been nice, you know.
She just has. We haven't reached out enough to. Like a month, like it's been a month. I feel like that's so early in the game. In that first week, we were in Punta Mita, basically on vacation, just like enjoying after our road trip.
Yeah.
And then we were in an Airbnb for 2 weeks. That wasn't the greatest Airbnb in the world, and that was a little hectic and frustrating. And then we finally got into the place we're at now, and it's just starting to feel. I don't want to say like home, but it's starting to feel like our own.
Familiar, right? Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, like we're definitely a little bit more comfortable, like definitely, yeah. And I mean, everyone in the neighborhood is very nice, but majority of the people are older. You know, it's a lot of retired expats.
And it's mostly Mexicans, or you see Americans?
I'd say it's, well, expats, so it could be Canadians,
Oh, sure.
Americans.
It's a good mix of Mexicans,
A lot of
Canadians,
Canadians down
Americans, a
here.
lot of Canadians though, yeah.
But
it's definitely, and there are Mexicans though too.
there's definitely Mexicans. I feel like they just stay inside more, to be honest with you. Like the people walking around and the people driving around a lot
Are there Canadians and
are
Americans?
the Canadians and Americans.
Yeah.
Sure.
And everyone's very friendly.
But yeah, nicest.
It's just not like friendly is cool, but
Well, like we
Yeah.
got a guy above us from California.
But he's from here though.
He's from Guadalajara, but he lived in California. He moved to California when he was like 7, and now he's back here. His brother, he's got like a bunch of brothers that live in the area and stuff. So there's people to hang out with and chat with. For me, mostly.
And that's the thing, is he's connected with a lot
I've
of
connected
people.
with people. What she needs
Sure.
is a mom with kids our age, or
Yeah.
our kids' age, and play dates and things to go out and do. That's what she gets off on. It's like, hey, I get to load the kids up and drive them to this park and watch them play around with these other kids for 2 hours, and then load them all back up in the car and then bring them home and get them lunch and then put them down for nap. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like her day. Like
Totally.
Well, yeah, to do outings and adventures every day.
Yeah.
Not that we don't do them, still we do. It's just, I mean, I can't do the pool and the beach every day.
I can't.
Right.
Load up the kids. Let's go to the beach today. Load up the
And
kids.
the
Let's go to the
kids-
pool.
The kids can, but they can't. I mean, Daya's like, when can I go to Crayola? When can I go to that water park with Luca? And I'm like, oh, sweetheart. And seriously, that's all she talks about is the water park with Luca. She goes, I can't wait to show Luca how I can swim. And you know, it's always about Luca and the water park, and then you know the Paul Bunyan, you know, amusement park and indoor play areas. I'm like, there's definitely no indoor play areas here. So you know, it's just different because, like, I mean, that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
You know, and so for her, she just obviously doesn't like it, that because our life is different, and I don't like how slow paced it is, which, you know,
Really? Yeah. Wow.
She doesn't have anything to do.
That's like
Once she gets
so many people. That's what so many people are looking for. But
and
I
that's what they
understand.
want.
I
Like, we just
know.
met some Canadians that have lived in another part of Mexico for 5 years, and they just moved to Bucerias recently. And their kids are older. But still, they said it takes a while to get used to the slow pace. And I was like, yeah,
Wow.
that's not for me. I didn't say that to them, but I'm telling him, I was like, that's not for me. Like,
Yeah.
we have 3 little kids. I can't have a slow pace life anyway.
You can decide. There's the cultural slow pace and your life slow pace. Like you can decide to have a slow pace life down here if you want to.
Yeah.
But you can also choose a life that you're busy every day, all day. It's up to you to be able to find these things that you want to go do and enjoy. If you want to sit at home all day because you can, you're more than welcome to do that. Or walk around the gated community and dip your feet in the pool for 5 minutes and read a book. Like that's slow pace. If you want to do that, you can. If you want to drive down to PVR downtown and walk the Melicon and go to the grocery store and the shopping mall and catch a movie and catch dinner, you can do all that crap. You can do it every day, all day. So it's really up to the person and what kind of lifestyle they want to live.
It's hard though. Like
I understand it's
in
hard.
another country.
I 100%.
Well, yeah. And my mom,
I thought-
my mom had a good point. She said, you know, I've heard that from many of the people who've been in your situation is it's the hardest on the wife and like the mom and the children, you know, than it is for the husbands and the dads. So it's very different, you know, especially especially stay home moms, you
Yeah.
know, and I was like, yeah, it is. And
So I talked to Austin about a few apps last time we talked on the phone. Apps that helped me find friends and meet people. Were you able to look into some of that and see if you could find something for you at least?
well, I tried on Facebook, which let's be honest, I don't do Facebook. So I was like, I don't know where we get. He's like, well, let me help you. So I asked to be part of like a homeschooling group, and then I couldn't find a mom's group in this exact area, the city, which I know there is one, but I'm not, it doesn't exist anymore. They're under a different name. Because when I went to some other groups that I'm part of in this area, they said that there is a mom's group, but I can't find it. Because I know that's where to start, you know, because I know I'm not the only American with kids here.
For
you know,
sure.
little kids here, you know, looking for someone to have a play date with. I know that. So it'll just take time, you know, but yeah,
the get-go.
I just personally still think that I just don't think we'll live here forever. When I originally, but because I know I originally said to other people, will you ever move back to Minnesota? I can still say I don't think I plan on moving back to Minnesota anytime soon. And I've always, even though I think at times I said Mexico's forever, but I maybe more meant just forever as in like not coming back to the US or something, but.
And you know, it's, I think I told you guys before, it's okay. We don't have to prove anything to anybody, right?
Well, and that's the thing too. I was like, I don't want to seem like a failure. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
are you going to be upset? Because he's been very sweet. He said, you know, this is up to you. If this isn't for you and the kids, I respect you and I will do whatever and move wherever. You know, and I was like, okay, well, I was like, but are you going to be upset? Are you going to feel like a failure? Are you going to be really bummed out? Are you not going to be truly happy if we move? You know, because he obviously has his own dreams and aspirations and goals that, you know, for Mexico specifically.
Yeah.
And he just said, he's like, well, and he's been very supportive and he said, no, but he does want, there's certain things that he wants to see that he can at least accomplish before we do make that big decision to leave Mexico.
Yeah.
I said, that's fair. So
Yeah, one day, when I was again, I keep going to my trip to Australia because it's so close to what you guys are experiencing right now, right? I remember it was probably 4 months in and I was done. I was like, I think that's it.
yeah.
My English wasn't evolving because I wasn't really putting as much effort as I should have at that time. And it was just hard. It was every week my money was running out. Every week I was counting the money to pay my rent, and I was eating all sorts of crap. So I was like, I'm ready. So I called my dad. And that day I cried quite a bit. Picked my dad on the phone, and my dad was like, "Hey, you're not running against anybody, right? This is not a competition. You have your family here. You should be brave. You should feel proud of yourself because you tried. A lot of people don't even get to do that." And I was like, oh yeah, that felt good for me, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I remember thinking, am I a failure for not staying or for not trying harder and my dad just brought me that comfort. That's like, hey, life is different for everybody, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We're gonna give it 6 months. And
6 months.
And if,
Well, because that's when we have to renew our passports. So
I think that's smart. 6 months.
if she's not happy at the end of the day,
even though I said
it's happy wife, happy life, right? So regardless if I find my dream come true job and make it happen or whatever, if she's not happy down here, then I can't make her stay down here. I'm not gonna live a miserable life married to a woman who's not happy. So
For sure. Yeah.
I gotta make her happy. I gotta figure out how to do that.
I think we're gonna be doing something similar to this, which I hope is something that happens a little more often. But 6 months from now, today is July 5th. We're gonna find out. I think you guys gonna be in a completely different spot. And I'm not saying you guys gonna want to stay in Mexico, but I think what you've learned in 1 month multiplied by 6 is gonna get you guys thinking about something completely different than what you're thinking right now.
It'll be interesting to look back on this and be like, oh my gosh, we were so whatever.
And I just keep telling myself that.
What are you thinking for Dea? Dea is 4, right? So she's probably would be going to preschool or something like that soon. If you guys were living American, normal life here in the US. But I know you guys always talk about homeschooling, at least when you were living in the US. Now in Mexico, did that change? Or what are you guys thinking about?
No, I mean, if anything more, we definitely want to homeschool because the education here is obviously not as good. So from what we've been told, the private schools are like the public schools in the United States.
Oh, really?
And the public schools are just not great at all here. So that's just affirming that, okay, we still want to homeschool,
Yeah.
you know?
Not much has changed. We're just going to stick to what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody was watching this and they came with a different perspective, would you reconsider, or are you like, no, we want to homeschool?
A different perspective as in you
on
should put your kids in Mexican public or private school?
Yeah, like education, Mexican education in general.
No, we're gonna homeschool. It's not, it's not even, if you're in the States, obviously people would be like, well, the education, you get such a good education. And they could
Yeah.
say down here, you get such a good education. It's not even about that. We want to raise our kids and teach them our values, not that there's not bad values out there that are getting taught. It's that you're giving the leash to somebody else.
We just want to have
essentially.
full control of how of what our kids learn in that aspect, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything against.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. There's not.
I don't want to offend anybody.
It's personal choice. It's just what we feel is best for us, our family, and our neighbor Tom, who I'm friends with. He has to drive his daughters. Literally, the school's like 6 miles away. He goes, half hour each day, each way. I got to drive my kids to school. I got to get them there at 8 in the morning. The road there takes me half hour to get there. I got to sit and drop them off. At the end of the day, I got to drive back in traffic to go pick them up. I have to sit there in front of 30 cars who are also going to pick up all their kids. And then coming back, it's traffic from all the parents. He's like, I did the math. I waste hundreds of hours a year just driving my kids to school and back. And he's like, this COVID thing was nice because they didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to drive. I saved myself a bunch of time.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we would never have thought of that because we never had to take our kids to school. We never were going to anyways. So
Yeah.
another benefit.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the benefits, because I know it's been hard, right? But what are the pros so far? What did you see? Small or big? It doesn't need to be something that, this is huge, that's going to change my life for the rest of my life. But what are the small things that you saw in Mexico that you're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, this is better.
I don't even think it's necessarily being in Mexico. I think it's just not having a full-time job. We could, family time, being with the wife and kids for me, considering I had a restaurant job that had really weird hours. So I'd either see my kids for a few hours in the morning or I'd see them for a few hours at night.
Yes, that's been really nice because the kids are very attached to him now, and
Awesome.
which is great. And they're building such a great relationship and bond. Not that they did it before, but now it's, obviously, heightened more. And they just love it. And he loves seeing, life through their eyes and teaching them things and seeing things for the first time instead of me telling him or through a video, know? And I mean, the kids, it's a beautiful country. Don't get me wrong. It is beautiful. And the kids are just seeing so much. They really are, just cultural wise, just, just diversity of people. And then, the food, they've always been really good eaters, but they're definitely being very adventurous in their eating, which is great.
Awesome.
Day has become an amazing swimmer just because we're always in the water, so we don't have to worry about swimming lessons because she's she's doing so great.
That's awesome.
And she always is like, oh, I can't wait to show Luca. I can swim on my own, just like he can. I can go under, and I'm so brave. And so that's good because every day they're challenging themselves and they're learning, in a way that, not saying they could do it back in the States, but it would just be maybe at a different pace,
Sure.
That's
a big pro.
Lots of things that they're learning here is just, it's at a faster pace in a sense, so, which is great. That's really nice.
Biggest benefits though. We still have stresses. They're just different stresses than what we had at home.
Yeah, like cockroaches.
2 cockroaches and it's the end of the world.
A snake.
We're in Mexico. You're gonna see some bugs.
Yeah.
I'm
sure Peter saw worse in Australia. I don't even want to. Yeah. But
I saw a lot of bugs in Australia.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lots of good things. like, yeah, just not, it's a double-edged sword for me anyways, because I have the freedom to hang out with the kids and the wife all the time.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm still yearning for that daily chore. Right?
And yeah.
And
And
it's
you
not,
are very personable. Like, you know, you have the ability, and I think you enjoy like being around people
right.
and just being out
Right.
there.
He's
Yeah.
very social.
Very
Like,
social. Yeah.
and I'm social, but nowhere near on the level that he is.
Yeah.
So, and that's the one thing I always said when we moved down here, I was like, are we going to be enough? Like, is your wife and your children enough for you? And I didn't mean that in a negative way, you know,
Yeah.
because I was like, you understand, like when we moved down there, like we're not just going to meet people right away, you
Right.
know, but he's already met so many people. He really has. Like,
they're definitely enough, but at the same time, it's like no one wants, you know, you love your family, you love your wife, but you don't want to be chained to them 365.
everyone
you
needs
know?
their time with friends separate from from the wife and the kids, and their alone time.
Sure.
He has no, you know.
It feels like it's being intense, right? Just so much of that.
It's like when you
time.
go, it's like when you go on vacation for a week and then maybe 2 weeks and then a month and then 2 months. And you're like, man, I really miss my own bed. You know,
Yeah.
like you love vacation, you love being on vacation, but you also want what's comfortable to you and what you're used to. And I love my family. I love seeing my family, hanging out with them, but I also want to have my own passions for my own ambitions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Do you think you guys gonna do any quick trip out to kind of recharge? Maybe come see family, come see me, and then
Well,
go back.
Well, actually, we were saying how cool it'd be is actually if you guys thinking it'd be cool if we flew out his mom so she could babysit the kids so then the 4 of us could go out.
Yeah, that'd be
But
nice.
no, we haven't really talked about going into the US. We just,
well, it depends. It like there's like certain things need to happen for all these plans for, you know, this road to go or this road to go. So like, does one of my job opportunities come to fruition? If that's the case, we're probably here more than 6 months, right? Unless she absolutely says absolutely not, I'm not going to do it, then that's the way it is. But I think if something came to fruition and she got on a regular schedule and made a few acquaintances with some girlfriends or whatever to be more comfortable, I think that could definitely happen. But if those things don't come into play, then it's like, well, we got to go back to the States because our tourist visa runs out. So
Sure.
do we fly back and come back because we have the job? Do we drive and enjoy a week or 2 in Arizona or Texas or somewhere for vacation and then drive back?
Yeah.
Do we fly back to Minnesota? Do we drive back to Minnesota? Like,
well, but
So many things, yeah.
we have no plans on going back to Minnesota right now anytime soon to visit our family. If anything, we have plans for family to come visit us wherever we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we talk about doing trips, but within Mexico, you know.
flights to Cancun are super cheap. So if people,
Let's meet up
if a
there.
family member or friend was like, hey, I'm going to Cancun for a week.
Yeah,
or
we go
2.
meet him there.
Hey, maybe we'll
Yeah.
come, or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think Minnesota's in 2021.
Or even like, I mean, like there's just no, right now we have no desire to go visit the US right now, just to visit. You know, we don't have
We've
that.
been here for a month. Why would you? You know, that's
Surprisingly,
like-
me saying that, I don't have a desire to go to the US right now, whether that be even just Texas, just to go to the US, you know, because I told him, I was like, if we're going to the US, like, we're just going to move. Like, I don't really, you know, so, but yeah, no plans on visiting anytime
Sure.
soon. Like, I just, yeah.
just waiting on y'all.
Yeah, we should do it. Well, guys, I think things are gonna be very different in a couple of months. I have this good feeling about this thing.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Yeah. I'm feeling good about where you guys are at. It's tough. It's hard to find the words because these first few weeks it's tough.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a lot for sure. I
But
mean,
think like this, changing any change that you make now is still gonna be changes, right?
right.
So if these past 2 years were a lot of changes, doing whatever else might come up, it's just gonna cause more changes too. So that's something else to think about too.
Get the ball rolling.
Right.
How long are you guys gonna stay in this place where you are now?
Until we decide what we're gonna do. We got it
So this is more like a permanent
Yeah,
place.
so that's nice at least.
till November at least.
Yeah.
But it's like an Airbnb sort of still, so it's still like how much stuff do you buy to make you more comfortable?
It's
You
not really a
know?
rental, or is it a rental?
It's a rental, yeah. So it's not an Airbnb per se. It's just it's a rental. Yeah, he rents out. It's three apartments, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he lives in the neighborhood actually to the landlord.
Yeah.
So
3-bedroom, 2-bath, nice and big.
well, you know how it is. Like when you were traveling with Maggie for her job, you lived in these rentals, and like how
Yeah.
much do you make it your own?
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. When
So-
Maggie and I lived in, we lived in California. We were in Long Beach.
Yeah.
As we got there, we found this a nice place, and we rented a U-Haul and went to all Goodwills around the city, and like that's how we furnished our place, which is crazy.
Oh, I remember
I
that.
remember you
Yeah.
selling some of your stuff from back then. Yeah.
$200, we got like pretty much everything. Bed,
I was gonna say you made
couch.
money on that, didn't you? I feel like you made money on some stuff.
Yeah, there was this family that came one day and it's like, oh, I think they were furnishing, getting furniture for a new place for them because they got everything. They were like, is that couch for sale? Is that TV for sale? And we were like, yep.
Nice.
They got everything out. Yeah, but I get it. It's kind of hard to make your own. It's like, oh, how much do I want to invest on a chair that I think would be great for this size or for this side of the house?
Right.
I'm gonna be living here, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no coffee maker here, and I like coffee, so I've been using a mason jar with a filter over the mason jar with a rubber band, actually a hair tie,
Oh my God.
holding the filter there, and then I just fill the filter up and boil water, and I just do my own slow drip pour. And
kind of
I get,
like
nice.
French press.
and I get
Yeah.
one
One
cup of coffee.
Every day.
It takes him how long to do?
It takes me like, hey, it's good patience, right? It takes me like 10-15 minutes because you got to fill up the little filter and let it drip, and then fill it up and drip and fill it up and drip.
Maybe because he's looked at some coffee machines and they're just
Yeah, I don't want to buy a coffie maker. It's like they're not very nice down here. Like, well, the one, like, I don't know, some of them are nice, some of them are really nice, but the ones that are nice are like $100 and some. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend $100 on a coffee maker that I'm gonna use for 5 months. I went and bought a freaking 50-inch TV at Sam's Club for $500 because there's no.
Nice.
and we need
But
TV.
I figured 6 months I could sell it for $300. So
Well, and that's the thing is like we have that mindset now is like how much do we want to accumulate because we don't know what's going to happen in now 5 months. And that's I think the biggest challenge right now is because we are thinking, okay, plan B, we drive back.
Yeah.
What all can we bring? We've already accumulated more stuff.
But don't you think is so hard to like the fact that you guys now have a plan B? It's like you are always going to be referencing this plan B.
well, it's not, I don't know.
There is something, there's this artist that you like and I like too, Tom McDonald. And one thing that he did, I saw one of his interviews.
Tattoos on his face?
And he's like, I did tattoos on my face because I knew I wouldn't be able to get a regular job. So I would pursue my career as an artist. I feel like that's kind of the opposite of what you guys are doing.
If I was a single dude, I would I'd sell out until I made my personal dream come true.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I can't do that, unfortunately. I can't tattoo my face and then she goes, I don't want you to have a tattooed face. I'll leave you, or I won't be happy. All right, well, I got to go get these tattoos off my face then, right? I can't, even if I get my dream job down here and
it's trying to find the balance, right?
says I'm not happy down here, even though you're happy, I'm not happy, then I'm not gonna I'm not going to do it because she's not happy. So it's like, if Nova told Tom, hey, you can't have those tattoos on your face, he'd be like, all right, I'll get them off, right?
So other than yeah, I think it makes total sense. If I was single, and I think I would be having the same mindset.
I think
because
we
it's
had to
on
have
you.
a plan B.
But
because
what are the milestones that need to happen within the next 6 months for you guys to be certain that you want to do something else or stay there? One being hitting 6 months. What else needs to be in place for you guys to make that decision? Friends, maybe having some friends, having a business.
Well, we have 5 months. We don't have an endless supply of money to go through. So eventually money is going to come into play. It's not coming into play yet, but eventually it will.
Okay.
so it'd be nice for you to have a
it'd be
steady
nice
income.
to have a steady income, and it doesn't even have to be a bunch right at the beginning, but something to bring in something.
I mean, you went from getting a paycheck every 2 weeks to literally nothing now.
Well,
For sure.
passive income on some
Well,
investments.
I mean, you have investments, but I'm just saying you always start doing your investments, but that's not really money that we really want to use on a daily basis,
Right,
you know?
right.
Or when you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, that's something that you know you can count on for bills.
Yeah.
Investments are for savings or for an emergency, or well, I guess, I mean, we don't have to use it right now, but
But
So-
besides any income extra coming in, a steady workflow for me. Hey, what do I have going on tomorrow? Like, I love weekends. I love having free time, but 7 days a week free time, it becomes boring, right? Like,
well, because he doesn't even really have a hobby. Like, he's not even surfing.
well, I
every
went
day,
to a little fish surf shop kind of thing today and looked at a fishing pole and a reel, like ocean style, like 9 foot, huge reel. I typed in some stuff into my translate and I said, hey, I want to fish from the shore. Set me up with whatever I need and let me know how much it is. And he just started picking stuff. He's just like, this pole,
Okay, no English.
this rod, a little bit. He knew a little bit. This, he put 4 lures down, this line, typed it all into his phone, added it all up, showed me how many pesos it was. It was like a little less than $200 for 4 lures, line, rod, and reel. And it was like nice stuff. And I was like, sweet, man. I don't have the money on me now, but you're open tomorrow. You said, todo dia, all day. Sweet. I'm going to go there tomorrow probably.
Or did he only take pesos?
I guess I might have been able to use my card. If I can, I will. But not $200. And where we were today in La Cruz, there was like this pier that I could walk on and just sit there and
Cats.
it off, dude.
That's the way. That sounds
I'm
good.
like, I want to do that. I was like, man, I could do some snorkeling over here. There was a guy that probably got 30 oysters today, right by where we were swimming.
That we were swimming right there.
And he was just getting oysters.
He just had a hammer to hammer them out.
Like, I want to do that. There's some other cities I want to see. There's some spots that we haven't gotten all these cool beach spots yet.
Yeah,
I haven't
know.
even showed them these spots yet.
But like, I don't really like him leaving me by myself right now. So like, for him to go do things for himself, and I've never once said don't leave me. I've just been like, he just knows.
It can be frightening, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, as I'm sure you can imagine, like, it's not like I'm okay, I guess, if we stay inside in this little neighborhood, but like, I don't even like drive right now, and the driving is crazy here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already
bad. Brazil is way worse.
You were just pulled over.
I got
I don't
pulled
have time to get
over
pulled
because I
over.
have Minnesota license plate, and they're like, "Well, I could probably get money from that guy," and it wasn't going to happen because the guy in front of me did the same thing. Get real.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that would be nice for you to have something.
Besides income, having something,
A hobby or two.
a job, hobby, something that I like to do, dude. Like, isn't that the dream job? Is not even calling it a job, but something that you love to do.
What about you, Elise? Do
and
you feel like you could develop or find out a hobby that you could do that would keep you going? Because it's not all about Austin finding the hobbies, right? You gotta have fun too.
I mean, obviously that's important for me, for him to have that, but I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. So I just, I don't know.
So maybe like if you
She needs something to
found,
do with the kids, man. She needs.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, I told her I really like to get into yoga again. I found a yoga studio here actually.
In a vegan
Nice.
restaurant.
In a vegan restaurant.
Above a vegan restaurant.
But then I was like, oh, looks a, I mean, but we'll, I'll try it out because just from the pictures,
you should.
looks a little different from like the yoga I'm used to, which is fine.
Let's have an open mind, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'll try it. And it's okay if it's in a different language. It's okay. Because that doesn't matter. You just follow, you just follow whatever they're doing with your body. So
It might be even better. That's in another language.
yeah, right. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are a few things that we're gonna follow up on in 6 months.
yes.
Technically 5. We got 1 month done.
All right. All right. So crazy, man. Like,
I know.
again, for whomever is listening to this, or for us listening to this in 20 years, is 2021. We just got off a pandemic. At least here in Minnesota, we are not wearing masks anymore. I don't know how it is there in Mexico. Is it still like heavy going on?
It's pretty bad here.
Most of the people are.
The only reason why it's not bad is because we're outdoors. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a little bit more freeing. But oh no, they're on a whole nother level here. Like when you go to the grocery store, like not only do you have to mask up, but then they check your temperature. They give you a huge, like they have this huge bottle of hand sanitizer, and then they're like in special uniforms, literally watching you like hawks.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah,
all.
that's kind of the picture I wanted to paint, right? Elise, you mentioned that these past 2 years were a lot of changes. You guys have really small kids, moved houses a couple of times here in the US before moving to Mexico, and is still a pandemic year.
Yeah.
Started last year, or yeah, but it's still very much going on. So it's just really courageous what you guys are going through right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So stay brave, stay strong. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next 5 months. Hey, Austin, I know you just started a YouTube channel. And this is kind of a wrap up of this conversation. So I want you to tell a little bit about the YouTube channel that you are doing, what you're trying to show there, and the name of it.
Yeah, so it's called Into the Wild. I guess there's I didn't know that there could be a bunch of different names on YouTube. I went for it. They're like, yeah, approved. And I was like, okay, cool. But there's like a bunch of Into the Wild. So I don't know if you'll find me right away because I don't have many followers or videos or content yet. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can leave a link in the description, Peter, to my page, but
Am I gonna upload this? I think you're gonna upload it.
I'll put this, it'll probably get on there anyways. So, but yeah, just talking about our trip down here, road trip, because we did drive from Minneapolis to here 5 days with 3 kids. That was an experience in itself.
So just to call out a few things that I've learned watching your YouTube video. There's the Mexican time and how to go to see a mechanic in Mexico. So you talk a little bit about that. Crossing the border, you were specifically recording as you were crossing it and driving up. What are the cities that you guys have been so far?
Saltillo was the first stop. Zacatecas, the one with the crazy road that Elise made us go up, was the second stop.
I mean, did it even look that scary in the video, honestly, because the way the camera view was, but oh my, it was bad. It was
It was like being a little mountain goat.
Well, because I was watching,
on
I was
the
like,
top
no
of a
one's
hill.
gonna, people are gonna think we're being like babies or something. Like they're gonna think it doesn't look scary at all because
Yeah.
they couldn't see all the views that we could see. But it was really scary. Anyway.
Yeah, Saltillo, Zacatecas, and then we finally got to our spot in Punta de Mita, and then now we're in Bucerias.
Okay, great. Awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, just adventures, things different that we've never seen before.
My hope for these, if this ever goes, I don't know where this video could go. Maybe there's a bunch of families like yours exploring the idea of moving to Mexico. I hope we get to make some good friends out of this conversation, and you guys get to meet some people. Maybe, next week people are going to be reaching out like, hey, well, you're here too. Let's catch up.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure a lot of our concerns or a lot of our worries and fears are shared by a lot of other people who have probably done this before.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing a few months down the road, it hopefully flips 180 to, hey, we just didn't know the unknown, or man, we never should have done that. We're glad we did it, but we're glad we're back.
Well, I don't think I would ever say that. I would never say I regret it. Like
No.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we did it.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Which is expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we both knew that. Some of us knew a little bit more than the other, but
well, good
thanks
luck.
for putting this together, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you helped a lot, the technical parts of it. All right, guys. Let's stay in touch. I will talk to you guys soon.
All right, bro.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
And that is a wrap on the AMA. Big shout out and thank you to my buddy Peter for taking the time to do this. Much appreciated, brother. Great chatting with you and really nice seeing your face again. I really hope the viewers got something out of it too, if nothing else, just to see how we are adjusting to this new lifestyle. If you want to keep tabs on us, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and ding the notification bell so you get notified on new videos. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.